When you first start using your computer, you'll need to become familiar with its operating system, or OS. Most computers use the Windows operating system, and in this video we're going to be focusing on Windows 7. If you're using Windows XP or Vista, it may look a little bit different, but for the most part they work the same. The screen that you see when your computer has finished starting up is called the desktop, and this includes the desktop background and also the taskbar at the bottom of the screen. Here you'll find shortcuts to commonly used programs, and also settings such as your internet settings and the sound volume. But the most important part of the taskbar is on the far left, and this is called the Start button. This opens up the Start menu, which is where you'll go to open a program. When you open a program, it will appear on the taskbar, and this is really useful if you have several different programs open because you can easily switch between them by just clicking. Now, if you're just starting out with computers, it's really important to know the difference between a file and a folder. Files can be documents, pictures, songs, movies, and more. Folders are used to organize all of the files on your computer, and they'll have an icon that looks like an actual folder. To open a folder, you can double-click it. The window you see here is a specialized program called Windows Explorer, which you can use to navigate to any folder on your computer. You can also open this by clicking the Windows Explorer icon on the taskbar. If you want to navigate to a different folder, you can select a different location on the left side of the window. And once you find the file that you want, you can double-click it, and it will open in the default program for that file type. In this case, it opened in Windows Photo Viewer. If you want to delete a file, then you can select it and press the Delete key. When you do this, it won't permanently delete the file, it will just move it to the recycle bin. So if you change your mind, you can still recover the file, but if you're sure that you want to permanently delete it, then you'll need to empty the recycle bin. Finally, let's go back to the Start menu. If you're ever not sure where something is on your computer, there's a good chance that you can find it in the Start menu. For example, you can go to the Control panel to adjust any of the settings for your computer. You can view Windows Help, or if you're finished using your computer, you can shut it down. If you don't want to completely turn it off, you can just log off or put your computer to sleep. So these are just the very basics of using Windows, and all of these things will become second nature to you as you get more practice. You can view your libraries by clicking on the Windows Explorer icon on the taskbar. These are your default libraries: documents, music, pictures, and videos. Libraries give you an easier way to find your stuff, so you don't have to spend lots of time navigating through various folders. They're also integrated with the desktop search feature, which means you can search for files much more quickly when they're part of a library. To use libraries, you first have to add folders to them. Let's add a folder to our Pictures library. Right-click a folder, go to Include in Library, and then click Pictures. Now, the folder hasn't moved, it's still on the desktop, but it now also appears in the Pictures library. When you add a folder to a library, its contents are indexed so that desktop search can work much more quickly. If you start typing in the search box in the upper right, it will immediately start locating matching items even before you finish typing. To be even more organized, you can add tags and other details to the files in your library, making the search much more powerful. The details that you can add will vary depending on the file type. Let's add a tag to an image. Click on an image, and then where it says Add a Tag, add a keyword of your choice. We'll type yellow. Then click Save. You can add more than one tag, just be sure to separate them with semicolons. Now when you search for these keywords, you'll instantly see those images. You can also add a search filter to filter by type, date, or other criteria. The more details you add to your files, the more powerful your search will become. If you want, you can create your own libraries. If you're working on a project, you may want to have a library so you can easily get to all of the folders pertaining to that project. Click on Libraries, and then click New Library. We'll name ours Africa. Now you can add any folders you like to the new library. So that's how Windows 7 uses libraries and desktop search to make organizing and finding your files easier than ever.